is we've missed some goings on. So welcome back to Pump Up the Jam, the unofficial podcast of Maldon and Tiptree. And joining us as always is we've got Big Ange and Big Mac, Richard Buckby, Alan Taylor. Take your pick who you might want to be there. But how are you, gents?
Oh, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. It's nice to be back.
Nice
It's
to
good
see you.
to see you. Nice. It is good to be back. And after the last weekly, I'm definitely not Big Ange. I'm sorry, but just can't do it.
Is that because you don't know what a European trophy looks like?
Well, after last night, I do actually, because the ladies.
Oh, very true.
So thanks very much for allowing me to
Very
plug
true.
that in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, so we've missed some big goings on. New owners, new takeover. Just give us your thoughts on very briefly on what's been a pretty whirlwind last 6 months or so.
Yeah, I think it's been a bit crazy, right? I think our last podcast was just over a year ago, and I think that it was obviously a lot bleaker back then. If you'd have told me in 15 months' time we'd be sat in this position, I would have probably laughed at you. But I think it's been well publicised, the takeover, but what the work Barry's got to have done have transformed our club really, and I still can't believe it. So it's remarkable. I know, Al, I know you went to the stadium the other day, and it looks like a complete and utter place that's just not even recognisable to what was Park Drive 12 months ago.
Yeah, I know it's mad. Obviously, Park Drive now the Drewitt-Barlow Stadium. Let's name it right. Essex Riviera, home of football these days. Exactly. But yeah, I went there on Thursday night. Really good to see the bar really busy. It's, as you say, it's only been 4 months. And the turnaround's been ridiculous. Scott was kind enough to give me a little guided tour of what's been going on down there.
Can you reveal anything, or are you sworn to secrecy?
I'd have to kill you. Nah, it is good. The way it's all going is really, really nice. The best thing about it is like Scott is well, not owner as such, but he's one of the ones behind it. But he's not scared to get his hands dirty, so he's busy every day.
He really loves it, doesn't he? Sort of getting involved and getting stuck in. Yeah.
So they've done the changing rooms, or in the middle of doing the changing rooms. They're going to hopefully put booths and that in for the home dressing rooms. The away dressing rooms, I love what they've done with the place. They've literally blacked out the windows, so they've got no natural sunlight coming in there, making it a proper dingy place, a proper non-league away change room, which is good. But yeah, it's incredible, really, what they've been doing.
I think more than that, and I've said it before, just the hope that they've given to the whole, the fans that have been there through the bad times, and you see the fans sort of returning who were maybe sort of not driven away, but are just kind of drifted. And then you get all these new fans and the interest that's coming in as well, and it's just incredible what they're doing, and the plans they've got are just mind blowing, to be honest, aren't they?
Well, that's the thing. So you've got the plans, you've got everything else that's going on around it. The publicity has helped tenfold, because when I used to go up the high street and put fixture list up there, the amount of shops are like, oh, we didn't even realise we had a football club in town. It's like, how long have you lived in here? It's just ridiculous. And now it's getting out and about. People are starting to be a lot more positive. As you said, we've got fans coming back that left. We've got more fans coming down to enjoy the game. We had last couple of games, we had season ticket holders from, I think, Colchester, Tottenham, West Ham, Arsenal, all coming down talking about how good it is. The atmosphere is good, and they're thinking about not renewing their season ticket because they're, let's be honest, ridiculously overpriced at them sort of clubs. And you come to us, you pay, was it £170, £150 early bird for the season, and
you're going to get some good football this year, aren't you?
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, I think I've had the pleasure of working with a lot of local businesses in the last 2-3 months, and I've been astounded really by the commitment and the interest You've only got to look around the pitch, and there's hardly a spare space on advertising boards. And I think 12 months ago we probably had 2 boards, and they were from the club's shirt sponsor at the time. So it's unbelievable, the interest from local businesses, and as you said, Lee, people coming back through the gate. How you touched on supporters that have been away for a period of time that are, have got that buzz back, they're coming back. I think it just shows the belief and the energy that Barry Scott and the whole team really have instilled in the football club, and to bring it alive, which we've all said for a long time that potential was there. It just needed to be tapped into, and I think it's so good now to see that being tapped into and that opportunity being realised, really.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really important that you have people in place at the club that have ambition and real love for the club. So obviously you do stuff for the club, Rich. You've helped with the sponsorship, getting them around there. Obviously you've got the social media guys. Jack's come on board. Ollie's still there, doing great work. Even stuff through the JFA, we're promoting stuff. Roy's doing fantastic stuff for them, doing graphics. Then you've got Barry, Scott, and Aspen, always at the club. New groundsman, Barry. They're all doing good game. Yep, exactly. All doing great stuff, and it does show.
There's definitely a catchphrase in there about Barry's surname, but maybe we won't touch on that one until we've had a good game. But I think you're right, Lee. And now I think the effort that has gone in. It's one thing buying a football club and having a title as owner and lauding yourself on social media or whatever. You see a lot of owners do that, but to get your hands dirty, replastering an away dressing room or whatever it is you're doing, going to meetings, meet sponsors, all of that takes time, and there's no financial benefit to it other than giving it back to the community and our football club, which is what we've all ever wanted, really, and probably a little bit more. So I can't quite believe how lucky we've been, and I'm just really pleased that I did go and meet Barry in October, and how fast we've travelled since then. It has been a bit crazy.
Yeah, so shall we touch on the end of the season just briefly, or
we can touch on the last home game if you want?
Certainly we can do that. Yeah.
What happened at that last home game? Who did we play?
It was just a small team. I've never really heard of them, to be honest. But
down the hill, was it?
Yeah. So obviously we had Haybridge on the bank holiday, which was our last home game, and I think that was just kind of a culmination of everything that we've talked about with the effort that Barry, Scott, and the whole team at the DBO have put into it, and just to see, apparently 600 odd fans. If you believe the Haybridge social media through the gate, I think it was a lot more than that. And just to see it, the sponsors and the sort of the local communities, like the Essex Air Ambulance were there as well. Just everything kind of came together, and off the pitch and then on the pitch, it came together as well. So it was a pretty perfect day.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, Lee. I think that is the the higher end of where we want to be next year. And I think if Barry and Scott have 1,200 plus supporters coming every week, they'll be absolutely over the moon. But I think that was a culmination of all the hard work that's gone in. Even on like small things like online ticket sales, giving people the opportunity to buy tickets online in advance and making your entry for a turnstile easier on a match day rather than queuing back to the promenade with attendance like that. Just makes everybody want to come. Both bars being open was great to see. Hundreds of kids there, which was brilliant. Cheering the boys on, giving you earache as they come through the tunnel. All that good stuff. It's just it's brilliant to see, and long may it continue. I think it's just a shame the weather wasn't a bit nicer. I think we probably would have had a few more through the gate. I certainly wouldn't have got as wet as I did behind the goal waving the flags. But it was a great day, and the boys on the pitch really helped put the icing on the cake, really. So
let's just touch on that. Like you said, behind the goal waving the flag, the support has been unreal the last month of the season. Like home and away, we've taken people away. People are starting singing. Trev banging his drum. It has been incredible to see. It's a real change.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I just can't fathom how we've got to this point so quickly, and I don't really know what the answer has been to getting there, other than the commitment that's gone in from everybody. But you're right, Al. I think it is incredible. I mean, there's not an easy way to describe it. You really need to come and see it to believe it. But yeah, a big mention actually for Ross. Trev's psychic. Ross puts in a lot of work. He orders flags, he puts flags up, and it really helps generate that atmosphere. So yeah, there's been a lot of effort from a lot of people. Long may it continue into next season, because the boys on the pitch are going to need it. So I know Kev is desperate for it to continue and grow. So if you haven't joined us behind the goal yet, this is your first request of the year to come and join us behind it next season, because we will need you. So
it is really good. So obviously, from where I stand at home games in the posh seats, it is really good to sort of look behind the goal and see that colour and hear the noise as well. And you say you can't work out why, but I think it is just because we have been given that hope now, and you get the feeling that you're kind of, not to sound cliche, but you're on a journey, and there's sort of the buy-in from everyone, and everyone seems to be pulling in the right direction for the first time in God knows how long. So I think that explains it, and it is really, like, to the Haybridge game in particular, you guys were brilliant behind the goal.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think that journey is important. I think, before it's felt, go back a year, maybe a little bit longer than that, it's felt the club was sort of really getting by week to week, sort of didn't really have much ambition, or there wasn't much structure. And, that's not because people weren't trying, but ultimately for whatever reason, today's not the day to dwell on it, but there were a limited number of volunteers and they were doing their best, and ultimately fair play to them for keeping it running like they did. But it was clear that new energy and new direction was needed, and Barry and Scott from day one have been pretty clear on what that journey is, which is to get us in the highest league as possible, as quickly as possible, and they'll give Kevin the support and the facilities he needs to do that. And Kev's a great manager. We haven't touched on him yet, but he's been here before. He knows the club. He did very well when he was with us before. He's done amazing at Needham Market. So what better guy to be appointed to take the club forward? And I think one thing we should say is actually every appointment that Barry and Scott have made, from my opinion, they've not missed the mark yet. You look at Kev, you look at Bales, even Matt Yates as under-18 assistant coach. What a great, role model for those young lads coming through.
Yatesy might be younger than some of the players in that under-18 squad as well.
He might look it. But yeah, I just think, it's easy to buy a football club. Lots of people do it, and lots of people do it and fail, or they appoint the wrong manager. But I mean, time will tell, I guess. But they've got it right, in my opinion, at every corner so far, and that's not easy.
Yeah, you are 100% right. Literally everything they have done, like the appointments, has just hit the nail on the head. It's not fan service, but it kind of is. Liam Bailey coming back. He loves the club. Great to see. Then, as you said, Matt Yates going under 18s, Pip coming in with Kev. And the thing with all of them is that they're great humans, and they're so approachable. You can go and talk to any of them at any time, and they're more than happy to give you their time just to talk to you and just explain what's going on at the club as much as possible. I know there's a few secret things they can't obviously divulge, but it is just great to have that sort of, it's like camaraderie, isn't it? Like we're all in it together.
Yeah, and you say, Al, that they're good people as well, and that makes it just a lot nicer as well, because as fans and as volunteers, you want to do your best for them, to give them the kind of support that they need in order to do their job.
Yeah, as I think they've mentioned multiple times, that they need the support of the fans to be behind them, and we're giving them that 100%. Obviously, we're speaking about the end of the season. Slightly less reflect and look almost forward of everything coming in. As we said earlier, under 18s, women's team manager to be announced at some point. They are doing women's trials. Rich, do you have that to hand?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I was just looking. I know it's soon.
I have.
Go
I
on,
have.
Lee.
Not for the first time. I will bail
So
you out.
knowledgeable.
So there's 3 dates. These are all 7:30 till 9 p.m. So the 25th of June, the 2nd of July, and the 9th of July.
And
The
I think
dates for
that's email
those.
Liam, right? Lee, did I email Liam to register interest?
Ladies at MaldonTiptreeFC.com.
And Lee, question for you really. I'm sure you won't mind me saying, you're someone that is a champion of the ladies' game, at all levels. How important do you think it is for the future of Maldon to do it in the right way, to have a ladies' team with an ambition and also funding? Because I think a lot of ladies' teams operate, but not many of them. A lot of them are self-funded, as I understand. But you can probably explain on that a bit more, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think with anything, not just because it's a women's side. With anything, it's got to be done. If you're going to do it properly, if you're going to do it, you've got to do it properly, and you've got to really sort of want to do it for the right reasons. And I know. So this week, Blackburn Rovers, obviously their men's side are in the Championship. Their women's side were in the second tier as well, which has just been rebranded to WSL2.
Nice logo, though.
We haven't got time for me to talk about that logo, but their women's team have been pulled out of the Championship because the owners aren't going to give them the bare minimum of funding and sort of to meet the criteria for that league. And I think the women's game is only going one way. It's only going up. We were speaking about it, and you touched on it earlier. Arsenal winning the Champions League last night. You've got 50, 60,000 watching that. There'll be thousands at the trophy parade on Monday tomorrow. It's key that it's done properly. That's for sure. And as with everything that Barry and Scott have done, it will be done properly. Certainly at the level that I think we'd be entering the pyramid at. It is essentially still pay to play. So if from what I've seen, Barry's on about removing some of those barriers in terms of subs and maybe introducing expenses if I remember correctly. And that will be huge at this level because the players are still having to work Monday to Friday or hold down full-time jobs. So if you can remove some of those barriers, it will help the players, and it will also help the team secure a better quality of player as well. Because if you can offer that, then players are more likely to drop down, especially if they can see a project, for want of a better word.
Yeah, it definitely does need a lot more investment into it, but it is going the right way. I'll add on top of that I think Barry is looking for investment into the women's team as well. So if any businesses out there want to invest and sponsor, please do. But it is a great thing to have a women's team at the club. I know Lee's been banging on about having one for ages, and I think it's about time. I'm not 100% sure if we've even got a girls' team yet. Maybe like lower down, possibly. There are.
I don't think so. No, I think up until a certain age, it's mixed.
Yeah,
isn't
you're
it?
allowed to play, but yeah, it is a growing sport. Maldon district as a whole is a massively growing area, and the interest is only going to get bigger.
Yeah. I mean,
go on, Lee. Sorry, mate.
Go on. I was going to say, just from a local point of view, the nearest teams, you've got Chelmsford and Southend who are in Tier 6. Obviously, you've got Colchester as well, but sort of you've got a massive catchment area. And if we're the only ones with a senior women's side, then that opens a lot of doors to a lot of players, because it is a huge area that hasn't got anywhere for those players to go.
Yeah, and I know one of the other things, Barry and I think Scott maybe have spoken about it quite openly in the press, if you like, is that pathway. So it's all right having a ladies' team, of a senior age, as in adults ladies' team, but I know they're very keen to sort that pathway, right from junior football, youth team football, under 16s, under 18s, and have that trajectory for the ladies rather than, you don't just join as an adult. Can you come through the ranks? And I don't know that many other clubs have got that ambition, for the ladies' game on its own. So for Barry and Scott to be talking in that way is fantastic, really. And I can't wait to see that evolve. I know, Lee, I know you're a big supporter of the ladies' game, and there's others that are following you in that way. And I think it's great to give ladies the opportunity. And who knows, we might have our own Champions League winner from Maldon Tiptree Football Club one day that goes on to bigger and better things. So, yeah, fingers crossed.
Might win the Champions League ourselves.
You never know. You never know.
Why not?
The funding's probably available.
As you just said there, Rich, we're looking at progress and players through, and that does involve having a very good youth team set up, which we do have. Obviously, we have Roy and Liz help run it with Stu Emerson and John. Our youth setup is quite good, I think, compared to quite a lot of places. I know we had a JFA committee meeting the other day, and Stu was quite openly and happily talking about that. I think, am I right in saying that they've managed to reduce the costs by half this season?
Yeah, so it's definitely one of the plans. I know, but don't want to go over it too much, but Barry's spoken quite a lot on interview around his views on the youth setup, and maybe it potentially unaffordable for some families. I don't have a different view, but I think, lots of clubs charge youth players to play, whether that be subscription, monthly subs, whatever that is. And I don't think we're any different to most local clubs. But I think what Barry has committed to is fantastic, that a lot of the revenue generated from businesses that have got involved is to help reduce those fees, whether we are in line with other clubs or not. So basically make it open to more parts of our community. There are families out there that couldn't afford to send their kids to football. And I know the youth committee probably already, help families in hardship. But the fact Barry's been so public about it and he's happy for that sponsorship to go in that area is brilliant. And will help lots of families that will hopefully be able to, spend that money on other things, whether that come and be support the first team or money over the bar, wherever it is. I think, the commitment and the intent is brilliant. And I don't see many other owners doing something similar. So they're definitely flying the flag in that way. So similarly with the under 18s they're bringing in. So, Liam is going to head them up with Ash, Gosh, and we've already touched on Yatesy. So again, just building that, that pathway through to men's senior football, which as a club we haven't had for years. So it's brilliant to see. I can't wait to be if I can get a pass out for the night. I can't wait to be watching more games at Park Drive. I'm sure Barry Groundsman will be a bit nervous about it. I've just seen a picture he put on Instagram. Actually, the picture's looking really nice already. So it's just really, I think everything's really exciting. It brings that passion, doesn't it? So it's good.
Yeah, it just it's nice to, because obviously before it's only been a senior men's side. It's nice to have all of those sort of putting the foundations into the pyramid. I guess you've got the youth setup, you've got the under 18s, you've got a women's setup that will be coming in, and hopefully that will have a similar structure in terms of a pathway through. And it's just nice to have. It's not, like you say, it's nice to have more games. It's nice to have more people to support as well.
Yeah, no, I agree, Lee. And obviously, the more teams we have, the more support in theory Kev will have on a Saturday afternoon, home and away. So it's all for the bigger picture. It's all great for the club. More people in the club means more money over the bar, means it becomes more sustainable as a facility. And we've already seen the events that Barry and the team are putting on. Comedy nights or Christmas party nights, or our charity night, which was really good. There's lots of things like this in the pipeline which we've only ever dreamed of. So to see them come to fruition so quickly, with also the stadium redevelopments, is I think I said earlier, but it's great, really. So I suppose now it's about looking forwards, and you can already see the signings that we've made are quite frankly ridiculous, but I'm here for it. And if it brings more jealousy on social media, I'm here for it even more. So bring it on. And yeah, I mean, we're probably going to touch on who we've signed, but it's already building that excitement for next season.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
going to spare. I was going to say I'm going to spare your ears and not sing "Circle of Life" in relation to the whole feeding into the club and things like that. So let's move on to the signings. And so who have we had through the door? We've had Tom Eastman.
I think instead of starting there, let's start at the back end of the season at some of the players that we brought in, like Elliot Justin.
Yeah, I mean
Jack Crawley. Like even before the end of the season, we're bringing in like top tier quality players.
HC came back.
Yeah.
Like, not to show my age, obviously I'm not as old as you, Lee, or you, Al, but I remember Elliot when he played for Brentwood in, I'm gonna say, 2012-ish, and he was good then. And I remember looking at Elliot, fellow goalkeeper, union member myself, thinking like, wow, he's a great goalkeeper. And to see it come full circle and him playing for the club is brilliant. I mean, the confidence he gave the team, he looked like a Rolls Royce, not just because Barry's got one, but he looked like a Rolls Royce in between the sticks. So
he is a man mountain of a man, though, isn't he?
He's massive, isn't he?
The size of his hands are a joke. Like, he shook my hand.
Make things look very small in it.
Easy. I felt like an ant, and I'm not small.
Blimey.
A bloody big ant, I know, but still.
Ants do enjoy sugar, I hear, so it's probably not too far wide of the mark.
But yeah, as we move on to try and talk about the summer signings we're making and going on to next year, the club aren't announcing a retained list. They'll announce as players leave. We've had a few exit already. Obviously, 2 goalkeepers, Jamie Grossart and Morgan Snow, have left. Good luck to both of them. Both great guys. Jamie was superb beginning of last season up until January before he got injured.
Yeah, that save he made at Brightlingsea still lives rent free in my head. It was so good, and he, like you say, he was fantastic for us. I think it was his first season of senior football, if I'm right in thinking.
Especially at step 4, for definite. I think he might have played maybe a year at step 6, but definitely his first year at step 4. Just admiring Al's camera skills for a second there.
He came in and he hit the ground running from day one.
He did, yeah.
And he just got very unfortunate with I think the timing of his injury coincided with the takeover, and obviously needing a solid senior number 1, I guess. That's no offence to Morgan, but I think they were just looking to get that position nailed down, because I think Morgan played. I think we ended up with Pricey in goal at Brentwood before Christmas.
And he got a clean sheet, by the way.
And he got a clean sheet, which he doesn't like to mention. And I think we had Tom Middlehurst back for a few games as well. There was a Dom Alexandru as well. So we went through 4 goalkeepers trying to replace Jamie and get that position settled. And I think it was just really unfortunate from Jamie's point of view that he got injured, and then Barry and Scott came in, and Elliot became available from Dagenham as well.
I think that's quite a valid point, Ellie. He's just secured that team. Talking of players that were outstanding last season that are no longer with us, just Sam Kafour, JFA Player of the Season, and he rightly so got his contract at Colchester.
Yeah, talking of Rolls Royces, he was one. I mean, the Haybridge game that we mentioned, I think that was his first game back from after about a month or 6 weeks out, and he just bossed it, didn't he? He
playing right back as well, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he was. Sorry, I was just sending a message. Someone, I won't say who it was because it'd be unfair. Someone had just messaged me saying, "Can you give me my stats for my previous time at the club? Please don't read anything into this just yet, but just interested to see how many I could possibly get to in the future." But I won't say who it was.
Is that Lee Whitney? Because he technically signed on once.
I did, yeah.
It wasn't junior, so I'm sorry, but it wasn't junior at this moment in time.
Not yet, anyway.
Can we discount Charlie Hughes just to keep Charlie happy?
No comment. He wasn't Charlie.
But yeah, let's talk about the signings that we have announced this summer.
Yeah, just
as you said.
Who take your pick? Who do you want to start with? I'll give you first pick.
So
Rich, I'll give you first pick.
Thanks. I'm going to go with Tev. So I've known Tev for a few years, and Tev's great. Friends. And Tev is a great signing actually. Energetic midfielder, box to box, will score goals. He probably hasn't scored as many goals as he should do over his career because his energy is infectious. He'll play anywhere on the pitch. It'll be great around the dressing room. Music choices won't be for you, Lee, but I'm a fan. He'll be really good for us. He'll be great. Go on now.
All right, yeah. Let me get back up there.
I don't know where you go down to.
I don't know. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. Ollie Fraser, another Needham market player.
I don't know much about Ollie actually. It's
no,
not a name I
neither do I.
No, I did some digging when he got announced, and I think he's played at the England sort of age group level, so he's sort of under 17s, under 18s right. Maybe. So he's got some pedigree. I guess Kev has signed players that he knows can do a job at this level and then go on to bigger and better things, obviously with the same team as well.
Exactly. Then you obviously look at other players coming in from Chelmsford. You had the two Cameron James and
Louis Dunn.
Louis Dunn.
Yeah, Louis Dunn.
So I know of Louis just because I'm pretty certain Louis' dad is Joe Dunn. Who was involved with Culture at some point. And I think Louis played.
It's a gaffer, I think.
I think so. Yeah, I think Louis played in maybe League One, possibly League Two for the U's. It was with Dartford last year, I think, who came pretty close to get promoted back into the Conference South. So again, another player that great pedigree, as you said, Lee.
I think they did. Was it them or Dover that got promoted in the end?
I think it was Dover. I think Dover won the player final. I think.
I
know Billericay didn't. I'll have a look, shall I?
Dover. Sorry, yeah.
In the final.
Yeah.
So knowledgeable.
But again, I was having a look round, and Louis is another one that's played internationally for Ireland, so he's played sort of under 18s, and he played against England under 18s, and in the England team that day you had Aaron Ramsdale, Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Wow.
And yeah, so it's not a bad sort of grounding, is it? If you
maybe one of the questions for Louis should be, who's the best player you've ever played against?
Reece Oxford as well. I think Reece Oxford's playing in the Bundesliga now. Tom Davies, he played for Everton as well. So
yeah. Then he had a bad knee injury, I think. But yeah, no, he's obviously got great pedigree, and I think Cameron James is another one of that ethos. I think he was Chelsea captain last year, so that tells you everything you know about him. So I think they loved him so much they brought a beer out in his name. I think a local brewery there brought a beer out. So the JFA got some living up to do by the sounds of it.
Yeah, you need to get into contact with a brewery, mate.
Exactly. Then we have another centre back, Tom Eastman.
Who's he? Has he played the game before?
Yeah.
Has he played at 11?
Who knows? But you just talk about these players, and it's like even Tom, he is another. Was he 6'3", 6'4"? Our back line's just gonna be huge.
Yeah.
Like
I just feel a bit sorry for Yatesy, and I'm guessing Louis Arishby, who I don't know, staying. By the way, that's not an exclusive, but I'll assume he is for the benefit of the tape.
I hope so.
They're going to look really small.
It's going to look like a father and son day out, isn't it?
Well. Talking of small, Toro Egbury is re-signed.
Yeah.
Lovely segue.
Lovely segue, Al. Good, but I think T. Great guy. We loved him when he was here before.
He's a fan favourite as well, isn't he?
Yeah, another one that's played in the programme, so another one with good pedigree. I think he got Harlow, or helped Harlow win Step 6 last year. So, he's obviously got a bit of experience there that he'll bring in. And, I mean, it'd be interesting to see how T fits in amongst everyone else. We're going to have a big squad, so everyone's going to get their opportunity, I'm sure. So, yeah. And I think, don't hold me to it, but I think they are planning to announce another signing today. I don't know who, but I think there is another one coming today, or at least across the weekend. So watch this.
Well, we say today. Whenever this is released, it might be a different day, unless you
No,
get
this should
it
be going
straight
out.
away.
I reckon I can get this out today, which is Sunday the 25th of May, for those that are unsure. But yeah, I
What's the
reckon we
time?
can get this out today. It's 10:03 right now. We had to wake Lee up early for this episode.
I know. He had
He's
to do
had
his
his hair
hair.
done. Sorry, Lee. We've been on half an hour. I didn't mention hair, so I had to get it in before we finish.
I think whoever had half an hour on their sweepstakes card has just won big. So
The golden goal.
But yeah, that's pretty much the signings.
Have we missed
done.
anyone? We
Don't
haven't
think
done anyone disservice, have we?
I
I don't think so. No.
I tried to get my list up before, and I almost cut the entire chat off, so I'm not going to do that again.
I think we're good. Yeah, we haven't missed anyone.
Cool. So let's move on and just talk about almost what the plans are for next season, sort of JFA wise, what we're planning on doing, and just try and promote a few things, really.
Yeah, so I suppose first up, Al, we've got our AGM in a couple of weeks. Our AGM is the 23rd of June. It's going to be followed by a really good Q&A session with Barry, Kevin, a couple of other members of staff from the football club. So that's one probably not to miss. AGMs are never fun, let's be honest, but the Q&A session after definitely makes it worthwhile visiting. What else have we got coming up? We've got our trip to the cricket on the 11th of July. There's a couple of tickets left for that. For those that are interested, just drop me a message if you are, if you're still listening at this point. And
that is a good night out as well.
Yeah, if free, all I will say is free non-smokers. Those there, no.
Just in case there is a couple of non-JFA members listening to this, plug where they can find the JFA and maybe the 100 Club.
Yeah, www.thejammersfa.co.uk or the Jammers chat group on Facebook. All the details are there. Speak to myself or Gary Rayner, who's the membership secretary for the JFA. It's £10.
Morning, Gary.
It's £10 to join, and renewals are due in January. So I think it'd be
half price, won't it, for round about now?
We normally do half price for the second half of the year, so watch this space for that. That will probably come post AGM. So, but if you want to come to the AGM and the Q&A event, you need to sign up beforehand. So, sign up as quickly as you can. And I think
just on the cricket, sorry.
Yeah.
Just on the cricket night, if you haven't been before and are going this year for the first time, just a word of advice: just don't sit anywhere near Richard because he's not a quiet drunk.
I've given up alcohol.
Have you?
No.
I was going to say that makes three of us. I was going to say you could sit on the opposite side of the boundary and still hear you.
That's sober.
yeah, fair. So yeah, if you are going for the first time, just sit as far away from you can as Richard, and you'll have a lovely night.
I don't think we've got you this year, Lee, which is a pleasure.
No, I am in Switzerland. I'm doing some scouting for the women's team, so I'm out there watching the Euros, which will be really good fun. Looking forward to it.
I'm actually jealous, actually. That does sound like good fun. But yeah, no, cricket is a good night. It's always a good laugh. We normally start in Wetherspoons about 1 o'clock. So be there or be square, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
When
is it? We've got a stadium clean-up coming up soon as well, Rich, haven't we?
That is very good point, Al. So yeah, week commencing
remembered.
The 9th of June, which is, if I went in date order, that would have obviously come first. 9th of June, we have the stadium tidy up. There's going to be a barbecue on the following Saturday of that week, which I think is the 14th of June. Lee, you will have to.
I knew that because there was a barbecue. So.
Yeah, it's in your diary, probably. So yeah, that's going to be good. It'd be good to get everyone down to the stadium, do our bit to get ready for the new season. Just try and stay off the pitch, but I'm sure we'll manage that. But yeah, that's going to be really good. Be good to see everybody. It's been a while since we've all been together, and we did it a couple of years ago, and it was a good day. Just don't let Jamie roll near a paintbrush. Is the lesson we learned that day. Yeah, no, it'd be good. Really looking forward to it. It's great to be able to do those things which you haven't been able to.
Apparently, Jamie doesn't like the circus, so he may not. He may not be there.
Don't think the circus likes him.
But yeah, and that's just another one of those things. It just feeds into that whole community thing, doesn't it? You know, getting the fans involved, even if it is just for a day of tidying up and making good around the stadium. It's something that a lot of non-league clubs do, and that you see every summer. And it's not something that we've done nearly as enough as we should have, just to kind of bring everyone in and give them a sense of community, I guess.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
no,
nice. Sure. Yeah, no, and it'd be great to see the stadium looking spick and span, ready for the first announced pre-season game, which I think is the 15th of July. I think. Chelsea.
No,
Chelsea
it is. I don't think it's the 15th. Bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I think the first one's a midweek game. It's either hashtag or Chelmsford. Then it's Chelmsford. Then it's Elliot.
Oh, it is the 15th.
Well done, Elliot's testimonial as well on the Sunday.
Now he's knowledgeable,
huh? Still me.
Yeah, Elliot's testimonial will be a good day. Actually, I won't delve into Dagenham politics, but yeah, it'll be good. It'll be a good day. I know Elliot's got some cool stuff lined up. So yeah, I'll definitely.
When is that?
The 20th.
It's either the 19th or 20th. It's a Sunday.
Yeah, the 20th. It's the 20th. That'd be good. I think Barry's laying on a few buses for people from Dagenham. So if you're at Loose End and you're in Dagenham and somehow listening to this podcast, it'd be good to see you there.
Yeah, and I know obviously we've spoken about the takeover already, and as with these things on social media, you get sort of the naysayers who just think that, you know, they're going to put houses on the land and what have you, and it's all gonna fall in and it'll never last. But then you see what Barry's doing for Elliot's testimonial and for the Dagenham fans as well, and you know, you just think if it was sort of a superficial thing, as you said, Rich, to sort of lord it up and say I own a football club, there's no way he'd be laying on buses for Dagenham fans who he's never met, you know, to come to the ground for Elliot's testimonial.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think just on the point of houses, two things. I think if Barry was going to put houses on a football club, it would be Hayward Swifts, for one. Two, if he does put houses on Park Drive, I want one because it would be a great viewpoint of the pitch. So, you know, he definitely won't build on the stadium.
Like the flats at Leighton Orient in the corners.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. That'd be great. Yeah, I'll just take one of those, please. That'd be brilliant. But yeah, no, I agree.
You basically live there anyway, so.
Yeah, there has been a few search warrants for me at times for more than one reason. But yeah, if I'm lost, I'll probably be at the football club, or drive around the M25. Either apply. But yeah, no, it's great. I suppose as we come towards the finish, what's the one thing you guys are looking forward to for the season to come? And don't say winning the league.
Go on now.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting back. Well, I would say enjoying football, but you know what I'm like. I'm always enjoying it regardless. Whether it was the back end of not last season, the season before, and beginning of this season where everyone's talking about possible relegation, I'm always kind of positive. But now from me saying we're going to be mid-table, we're going to be towards the top of the end. A couple of good cup runs, a couple of good away days, some coach trips. But other than that, I think it's just being at that stadium every other weekend, probably most weekends if we have the under-18s and women's teams playing there, getting that community feel, getting everyone down the club, and just making more memories at Maldon Tiptree. It's what it's all about, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fully.
Yeah, I mean, it's largely the same. It's you know, being there with your mates and the people that you've met through the club that you otherwise wouldn't have wouldn't have met. What are you laughing at, Rich? Sorry.
Just you implied you've got mates.
Not on this chat. I haven't. I think of you more of as acquaintances.
Nice. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, it's just, you know, like you say, I'll be in there enjoying the football, just enjoying people's companies. You know me, the women's team coming in is something I'm really excited about, and it's just all about building that community and building a bigger and better and more stable Maldon and Tiptree Football Club, which I think, you know, from what we've seen since, when was it, February, up until now, with you know, carrying that on, it's exciting times for sure.
Well, one of the new things I think I might bring in this season is a hot dog counter. See how many hot dogs Lee eats this season. I think we're going to make it to about at least 50.
We almost got through the whole podcast without talking about Lee's dietary habits, and it wasn't even me that mentioned it. But Lee, don't panic. My one thing I'm looking forward to this year is the bus parade down Maldon High Street with the league title, the FA Trophy, and the League Cup.
So well, you said we couldn't mention winning the league.
Yeah, but
because he wanted to.
The league. I just said a bus parade.
It would be nice.
And I know, knowing Barry, how I've got to know him, I fully expect there to be a bus parade down the high street.
I hope so. I'd be disappointed if there wasn't.
And it'll probably be in about January.
I think my thing has always been, you know, Moot Hall, the balcony, you know, where they put the Christmas tree in the high street, just the players out there and everyone underneath. But yeah, just on that, it's obviously, you know, that I got strong-armed into doing the stadium announcing by you and Ron about 3 years ago, and it's something I've always thought about, as sort of announcing that we're promoted or league champions or whatever, and that would be a really cool thing.
Well, they do say you manifest things long enough, Lee, they happen, right?
It's not worked with a full head of hair so far, so hopefully this is hopefully this turns out better.
Now you're stitching yourself up because I didn't mention hair either. But yeah, I mean, I suppose to finish, to give people a flavour of what's to come. Obviously, this podcast hasn't been around for a while, but now we're back and we're back for good. I think we roughly every 2 weeks.
Whatever I did.
Wow,
oh, Jesus Christ!
Trying to retain listeners, Lee.
Yeah. But yeah, every 2 weeks, if we have to jump on and do a quick one, we can do it.
I'm and hopefully,
that's what she said. But yeah, hopefully we can get some players on here to talk to, have a couple of conversations with a few other people.
Need to get Barry on, surely.
Yeah, why not? I'm sure Barry would love to come and talk to 3 fine people about Maldon Tiptree Football Club. I was going to say something else about you, Lee, but I kept it polite. Okay.
Are we done? Are we done? Have we finished?
I need a cup of tea.
I'll take that as a yes. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, Lee.
Until next time.
Yeah. See you in a couple of weeks.
Pump up the jam.